Hello, everybody.
Okay, Mr. Lockhart, go ahead.
And, Your Honor, we can call the matter of Aaron Jackson.
All right, Mr. Aaron Jackson, 3 cases, CB 0111113. Lots of ones there. 480639944 and CB 0110638. Mr. Jackson, good morning, sir.
Morning.
All right, we're on for pretrial here today. Okay, counsel looks like change of plea here as well.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, I have a guilty plea statement before me. Looks like it's to just one count, protection order violation, domestic violence. Pursuant to that guilty plea, the city's moving to dismiss a second count of protection order violation and one count of resisting arrest. Have you and your attorney had the opportunity to review this document together, sir?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any questions about it for me?
I don't.
All right, on the defendant's signature line, I see your initials there. Is that acceptable to you as your signature?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jackson. Do you understand, sir, that by pleading guilty to this one charge, you would be waiving your constitutional rights, which includes the right to a jury trial and the right to remain silent?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, the recommendation is as follows. 364 days jail, suspending 354. That's 10 days. You do get credit for any time served towards that. I suspect you're probably beyond credit at this point. The fine would be $5,000, suspending $4,700. That's a $300 fine. It says suspended all for a period of 24 months probation that can be terminated early if you complete the conditions. Those conditions being complete a drug and alcohol evaluation, domestic violence evaluation, comply with the recommended treatment, whatever it may be, have no new criminal law violations, and counsel, well, I guess we're not entering a new order on this one, just abide by the terms of the order already in place.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so continue to abide by the terms of the no contact order that does remain in place at this time. There's additionally a domestic violence fee that's required by statute. It says $15 on the document, but it should be $115. So I'm going to go ahead and update that. So that would have to be imposed, sir. It is required by law. Looks like that's everything, other than lastly, this is a conviction that would prohibit you from owning, possessing, controlling firearms, sir. So you would have to immediately surrender any firearms or concealed pistol license to law enforcement. Is that your understanding, Mr. Jackson, of the agreed recommendation here?
Unfortunately.
Okay. Do you understand that the court doesn't have to follow it and could sentence you up to the maximum penalty?
I do, Your Honor.
Other than this recommendation, has anyone promised you anything or threatened you in any way in order to get you to plead to this?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Are you doing it today on your own free will?
I am.
All right, and I understand it's being entered as an Alford plea. I just have one or two extra questions in regard to that. Do you understand that even if entering it as an Alford plea, which of course means that you are maintaining your innocence while entering the guilty plea, that it's still going to show as a guilty conviction on your record, the same as any other conviction?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
I understand.
All right, and then the last question in regard to that, are you in fact making this plea in order to take advantage of the plea bargain made with the prosecutor?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Knowing everything we just discussed here today, sir, is it still your wish to move forward today?
Not that I can think of right now, no.
Okay, so no further questions is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. One last thing, I missed one question, sorry about that. Do you understand, sir, that if you're not a United States citizen, that conviction of this crime would carry negative immigration consequences?
Well, that'd sound like a blessing, but unfortunately I am a United States citizen.
Okay, and just to be clear, I wasn't asking you about your citizenship, but I do have to ask that question of everyone. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Lockhart, are you satisfied that
Thank
Mr.
you.
Jackson... Oh, well, Mr. Jackson, we're not done yet. Just sit
Okay.
tight for a second. We still have a few things to get through. Mr. Lockhart, are you satisfied that Mr. Jackson is making the change of plea freely, voluntarily, and intelligently with full knowledge of the consequences?
I am, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, on cause number CB 0111113 to the charge of protection order violation as a domestic violence charge, how do you wish to plead today, sir?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Kilfoyle, you've been previously sworn, so go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I may just have a second. Your Honor, I'm reading from Officer James Walker's report. It's dated June 28th of 2024. On June 28th of 2024, I contacted Kelly Julius by phone regarding her ex-boyfriend and father of 5 of her children, Aaron Jackson,
Husband.
for contact.
We're married, Your Honor.
Mr.
Okay.
Mr.
We're legally
Jackson,
married.
Mr. Jackson,
Sorry.
I'm just reading what's written in the report.
Okay. Okay.
Kelly Julius is listed as the protected person on order, with Aaron Jackson listed as the respondent. The order was served and valid on this date and time and was set to expire on June 24th of 2026 as of the writing of this report. Kelly Julius told me that just a few days ago, Aaron Jackson had also violated the order. She told me today she watched out the window of her home as Aaron Jackson rode a bicycle past her house. She immediately recognized him and pointed it out to Jonah Solomon, who was also nearby. Jonah Solomon also saw the man and also immediately recognized him as Aaron Jackson. Jonah Solomon told me she has known Aaron Jackson ever since she was about 9, and he and her mother, Kelly Julius, started dating. Kelly Julius told me as soon as Aaron Jackson had rounded the corner and was out of view, she received a phone call from a blocked number. She immediately recognized the male voice as Aaron Jackson's, and he was talking about a truck that was parked in her driveway. She noted that, quote, Frederick, quote, had been staying with her, and Aaron Jackson was telling her over the phone that he had better not be staying with you, or something similar. The fact that he spoke about Frederick's truck indicates he was indeed the one that rode his bike by the house. Otherwise, he would not likely have known that this truck was there. Due to the fact that Aaron Jackson is on an active order listing Kelly Julius as the protected party, and said order stipulates that Aaron Jackson cannot be within 500 feet of Kelly Julius's residence or wherever she may be, and further stipulates that he is to have no contact either in person or via phone or other means, probable cause was developed to arrest him for violation of a no contact order. Criminal history check of Aaron Jackson showed no previous convictions for violation of a court order, making this a misdemeanor offense. I completed citation CB 11113, which was referred to the prosecutors as unable to contact Aaron Jackson. End of report.
Okay, thank you very much. Based on that, court does accept your guilty plea, Mr. Jackson, finding that it was made knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently with full knowledge of the consequences. There is a factual basis to support the guilty plea. The court would find that all elements of the charge have been satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt. The charge has been pled and proven, and the court has not entered a finding of guilt. Mr. Kilfell, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we didn't have notice that this matter was going to be resolving until right around 9 o'clock this morning. We have not had time to notify the victim in this case that this matter was resolving, as is her legal right to be here to address the court as to this resolution. As such, we are just asking to set this over to 8:30 on Friday so that we can get this all resolved. As the court noted earlier, the defendant's been in for quite a while. He's at credit, and we just need to give the victim an opportunity to be heard, as is her right.
Okay. Well, this is one where the court doesn't have to do any math. Mr. Jackson's been in here for almost a month. Is there any objection to just releasing him to come back out of custody?
There is one
She can
side to that,
call
that
her.
is the probation revocation for the 30 days that he...
So he's still serving that?
Yes, with
No,
a total
I'm
time
not.
of 40 days overall, if he was given, the regular 25% off, he would be done in about 12, a couple of days.
So about Friday.
I
Plenty of
would
time to
say
get a hold
he's
of it.
probably got this weekend somewhere in there. He's got about 6
Okay.
days left, roughly. So,
Okay.
based on everything,
I totally forgot that there was the probation revocation. So if it was just this, but if he still has to finish serving that, then it makes sense. So Friday morning?
Friday morning would be the city's request, and again, the probation is separate from the deal that we have here. I am going, pursuant to the guilty plea here this morning, though, the city is moving to dismiss the other 2 matters with prejudice at this time.
Okay. First things first, let's address the dismissals. Any objection to that, Mr. Lockhart?
no objection to that, Your Honor.
All right. City's motions granted. Count 1, that's protection order violation under the 638 cause number, and count 2, that's resisting arrest under the 944. Both are dismissed with prejudice at this time. As for the one charge that has been pled guilty to here today, the court has entered the finding of guilt. But Mr. Jackson, so I'm hoping you were following that.
I was.
2 things. The victim does have the right to be present under Washington state law, and it sounds like the city did not have an opportunity to reach them. The court, unfortunately, is not in the business of calculating credit, and based on your attorney's own calculation, it sounds like with the probation case and this, you do still have a couple of days left to serve. So I'm just going to set it over to Friday morning for sentencing, and then that should get this all taken care of at that point, sir. I understand
All right.
that's certainly probably frustrating to you, but do you have any questions about
It's all right. I'm here.
Okay.
That's all right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. I'm just going to finish filling out the order, and I think that that addresses it. Although, counsel, were you requesting to enter the firearms order today?
The city would ask to enter that
Okay.
this time.
I'll be just one moment, Mr. Jackson. I very much appreciate you being patient. So the 113 cause number set for sentencing on 8/23, 8:30 in the morning. The other two are dismissed, so we don't need to do anything with that.
There is one more thing, Your Honor. I don't mean to interrupt, but can we address the phone issues?
I don't think that was ever actually noted up, was it?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I was hoping with the entry of the guilty plea we could possibly address that, and obviously any communication with the protected party is still going to be, avoided.
Yeah.
But
They blocked the phone number of the alleged victim, and then they suspended my phone time, so I can't even call my elderly mother.
So,
She's in her bed dying right now.
Here's where I'm at. I mean, technically, that is a pretrial condition. He has pled guilty. Is there any objection to lifting it at this point?
The city has no objection
Please.
to lifting it at this point, and I would again just caution the defendants that
Yeah.
again,
I understand.
there's a valid order, so. But
Okay.
otherwise, the city has no objection, considering this is now post-conviction.
Okay. Well, Mr. Jackson, I will lift that order on my end. As we just said, that was a pretrial condition. These cases are no longer in pretrial status. And really,
Thank you.
it's on you. If you violate the order calling it, you're just going to be charged again. So hopefully that's
I
enough
understand.
to stop you from doing so. So, all right, I'll add that to the order here. Give me just a second.
Thank you.
And Mr. Jackson, I got a quick question. Do you own or possess any firearms?
No.
Okay. Do you mind if I sign off on a declaration stating exactly that?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'll indicate that.
Thank you.
Back to GPS.
Yeah,
944. Okay, and that charge was dismissed, so I'll have to remove the active GPS.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, so the active GPS that was ordered pre-trial is also removed at this time, sir. That charge it was attached to has been dismissed, so I'm going to go ahead and add that as well. All right, so the order here reads as follows. Pre-trial condition prohibiting defendant from using jail phones is lifted. No objection by the city. Remove the pre-trial active GPS as well. The court date now, again, August 23rd, 8:30. I'm going to sign off on that. And the very last document I have for you, Mr. Jackson, before we get you on your way, is simply the order on firearms. It does read that as a result of this conviction for BNCO domestic violence, you would be prohibited from owning, possessing, controlling firearms. You must immediately surrender any of those or any concealed pistol licenses to law enforcement until that right has been restored to you. You cannot possess them. And that violation of these laws would be a felony pursuant to RCW 941040. Any questions at all, sir, about that?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. See you on Friday.
Thank you. See you.
And here comes Friday.
We can call the matter of Aaron Jackson.
Aaron Jackson, cause number CB0111113. This is on for sentencing following entry of guilty plea on Wednesday. Mr. Jackson, good morning, sir.
Morning.
All right. I think we're just ready to go. The party's ready to proceed?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. McGrain.
Let me just, okay, so I know that Mr. Kilfoyle reached out to the alleged victim in this case. I believe that she was going to be providing a statement. I don't know if that did ever get provided, but we made a reasonable opportunity to allow that to be done. So at this point, I think we could proceed.
Okay.
This is a case that I'm covering for Mr. Kilfoyle. The recommendation on the VNCO DV is 10 days, $150 fine, DV eval and treatment, 2 years of probation, with an agreement that early termination is okay upon completion of treatment. It sounds like Mr. Kilfoyle indicated that we will have a victim statement soon, and I can
Okay.
provide that to the court. I don't think she's asking, I don't know if we could recall this or reset it just for a couple minutes to allow that statement to come in.
Okay.
it sounds like it's sort of imminent.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jackson, appreciate you being patient, sir. You've shown a lot of patience here the last couple of days. It sounds like the statement from the victim's coming in very, very shortly. So if you can just take a seat, we'll make sure to recall your matter as soon as it's ready.
All right.
All right, Mr. Lockhart, anything else ready?
And Your Honor, we can.
Oh,
Sounds like we can recall the Jackson matter.
yeah, looks like we're ready to go. Okay, great. Recalling Mr. Jackson on for sentencing. I do have the victim's statement now, and I'm just going to read it to myself. It sounds like it should not be, does not want to be read on the record, so, all right. Okay. All right, I have reviewed the statement of the victim. Ms. McGrain, would the city like to be heard any further?
Your Honor, I think that, obviously the victim's position has been represented there. Without being the person that negotiated this case, I don't know exactly what went into the negotiations as far as the dismissal of most of the charges. I mean, obviously, Mr. Jackson has entered a plea as charged to the NCODB. The city's recommending 10 days, $150 fine. The domestic violence evaluation and treatment, I think that's a fairly holistic evaluation. And so, hopefully whatever underlying issues are outstanding will be addressed in that. And then obviously there's the incentive of the early termination if he's able to fully comply with the recommended treatment. So from the city's perspective, again, I don't know exactly what went into the recommendation, but that is the recommendation that we are making to the court today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just double checking one thing here. So it's the 622.
No, don't get weird on me now.
All right, Mr. Lockhart, would defense like to be heard on this?
And Your Honor, this is an agreed recommendation. We just asked for its follow today. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Mr. Jackson, you don't have to say anything. You certainly have the right to, though, if you'd like to. Is there anything that you want the court to know?
Yeah, I'm still not guilty, but I'll plea out to get out and try and better myself to be there for my children.
Okay. All right. Well, the court, on Wednesday, I know we went through it. The court did accept your guilty plea as an Alfred plea. I know we discussed that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Mr. Jackson, I'll follow the recommendation. I understand there's a reason why the parties reached this recommendation. Let's go ahead and go through it together. I do have some concerns here, but I think that ultimately the probation, the treatment, that's what's going to be most important. And frankly, if you don't follow through with it, you've got a whole lot of jail time hanging over your head. We're going to suspend 354 days, and up to every single last day of that could be imposed if you don't follow through with the recommended treatment. So let's go ahead and go through it. I'm just pulling up the judgment and sentence right now. It will be as follows: 364 days, suspending 354. So that is 10 days, credit for whatever time you served towards that. The jail will calculate that time. Fine, $5,000, suspending $4,700 as agreed upon. That's a $300 fine. There's 24 months of probation. On that probation, you will have to complete multiple conditions, but I'll get to that in just a minute. This is an offense that would require you or prohibit you from owning, possessing, controlling firearms. We already entered the firearms order on Wednesday. I can review it with you again, but do you otherwise feel comfortable with it?
I feel comfortable and I understand.
Okay. All right. There is the $115 domestic violence fee that's imposed. It is statutorily required. And then we have a $100 monthly probation monitoring fee, so that's imposed as well. Once you are released from custody, Mr. Jackson, if you were given time, could you make payments towards those amounts?
I need a little time to get on my feet and get back to work, Your Honor.
Sure. I can give you time, certainly. How many months do you think you would need? Do you need, 2-3 months work, or would you need more than that?
Yeah, 3 months. 3 months, please.
Okay. All right. First payment due by, let's just say November 25th. Is just about a little over 90 days from now. All right. The $25 monthly payments work to start, or would you prefer something different?
A little lower, if you don't mind. I'm already making payments on my driver's license.
Sure. I'll just set it at 10. That's as low as I can go. You can always pay more if you're able
Thank-
to.
Yeah, I'm paying $50 a month to keep my license right now.
Okay. All right. So $10 per month starting November 25th. You will need to reach out to a company called Signal Management Services to get those payments set up. You'll get all of their information. It's under the heading of payment options on the judgment and sentence. So just make sure to give them a call.
Okay.
All right. As far as the rest of the conditions, you'll have to pardon me. I need to backtrack to Wednesday's guilty plea statement because since we're doing it on a different day, our system won't transfer everything over. So I just need to pull that up real quick. Take a look at what else was recommended.
Hopefully nothing else.
All right. Well, there's the probation, sir. So we need to go through
Yeah,
those conditions.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right, the 24 months of probation, you will need to report to Whatcom County District Court Probation immediately upon your release. Do you know where their office is located, sir?
I do.
All right, head on over
Yes, I
there.
do.
Have no new criminal law violations while on probation. Again, do not possess or own firearms. You would have to immediately surrender any to the Bellingham Police Department. Abide by the terms of all active no contact orders. That is obviously very important. Obtain and complete the domestic violence evaluation. Comply with whatever the recommended treatment is.
You're putting
All right.
support there, but
And then it also says, I will allow for the early termination. So you've got to be in full compliance with all the treatment. You've got to complete everything. And if you are, then the probation can be terminated early. So hopefully that is plenty of incentive.
sounds good.
Take this seriously and
Plan
get
on that.
everything done.
Oh, I do. I hope she takes it seriously too. The alleged victim and her daughter.
The guilty plea, she's just the victim at this point. But all right,
Yeah, whatever.
I'm going to set a roughly 90-day review date. It's going to be December 5th, 1:30 in the afternoon. That's a Thursday. I'm going to give probation permission to strike that hearing if you're in full compliance. So as long as you're on top of everything, your PO will let you know whether or not you need to come to that. Otherwise, that review hearing will be set.
Sounds like a short leash.
All right. I think that's actually everything because we already entered the firearms order the other day and the declaration of non-surrender. So at this point, Mr. Jackson, do you have any other questions?
I just hope there aren't any more false calls made on me. I want to clarify that, those last two charges that were dropped were bogus. Like there's a little girl making phone calls on me and I haven't been anywhere around the victim. So I just want the attorneys or whoever, prosecutors, to reach out to them and let them know I'm going my way. She can go hers. I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. Make sure to report to probation, sir.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.